I decline to answer the question. Same answer. Same answer.
Video released Tuesday shows former President Donald Trump repeatedly invoking his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination when questioned about his family's business practices during a civil investigation last summer.
Anyone in my position not taking the Fifth Amendment would be a fool, an absolute fool.
Over and over, Trump declined to answer questions before New York State Attorney General Letitia James, who was leading a civil investigation into the Trump Organization. James says her probe has uncovered significant evidence that the Trump Organization gave banks and tax authorities misleading financial information. Trump has denied any wrongdoing and, in the deposition, sought to portray James's investigation as part of a long-standing vendetta against him.
The United States Constitution exists for this very purpose, and I will utilize it to the fullest extent and defend myself against this malicious attack by this administration, this Attorney General's office, and all other attacks on my family, my business, and our country. Accordingly, under the advice of my counsel and for all of the above reasons, I respectfully decline to answer the questions under the rights and privileges afforded to every citizen under the United States Constitution. This will be my answer to any further questions.
On the same day the video was released, James asked a judge to sanction the former president, his adult children, the Trump Organization, and their lawyers over their responses to her $250 million civil fraud lawsuit against them. The defendants last Thursday filed formal answers in which they denied or claimed to lack sufficient knowledge about dozens of substantive accusations. In a letter to the Manhattan judge overseeing the case, James said many of their responses were demonstrably false. Lawyers for the Trump defendants did not immediately respond to requests for comment.
It was a fond farewell to the so-called Queen of the Skies on Tuesday, as Boeing delivered its final 747 to Atlas Air, marking the end of the jumbo jet era. Thousands of Boeing employees, including some of the so-called Incredibles, who developed the jet in the 1960s, watched the last delivery of the historic plane. Thomas H. Gray is one of them.
It's a certain amount of nostalgia, thinking about the fact that it is line number 1574, and considering I was there on number one, it's been quite a story.
And as it slowly begins,
The Boeing 747 was the world's first twin-aisle jetliner, helping bring affordable air travel to millions of passengers. It was designed and built in 28 months, and Pan Am introduced it in 1970. Customer demand has since eroded, as Boeing and Airbus have developed more fuel-efficient two-engine wide-body planes. When Boeing confirmed in July 2020 that it would end 747 production, it was already only producing at a rate of half an aircraft a month. Mike Stewart is another former Boeing employee.
My wife told me this morning, don't start crying. So it's just very emotional. You know, my father was one of the first employees here at Everett. He also transferred out from Wichita. My brother worked here, my sister worked here, and to see the last aircraft and realize that passing of time, it's very emotional, very emotional.
British billionaire entrepreneur Richard Branson, who was inspired to start an airline with a single Boeing 747 after getting stuck on a delayed flight, called it a wonderful beast as he bid farewell.
How's it going, sir?
Alec Baldwin was formally charged on Tuesday with involuntary manslaughter in the fatal shooting of a cinematographer on a movie set. That's according to the New Mexico prosecutor overseeing the case that has turned the longtime Hollywood star into a criminal suspect. Cinematographer Halyna Hutchins died after she was struck by a live bullet fired from the pistol Baldwin was holding on the set of the Western film Rust in 2021. The actor has denied responsibility for the shooting, saying he cocked the revolver but never pulled the trigger. A sheriff's office investigation is yet to reveal how live ammunition got onto the set outside Santa Fe. Baldwin has blamed the movie's armorer, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, for failing to ensure the weapon was safe to handle. The armorer was also charged Tuesday with involuntary manslaughter. Industry-wide firearms safety guidelines instruct actors to assume a firearm is loaded with blanks and rely on professional weapons handlers to ensure a weapon is safe. Actors are told to only point a weapon at a person under the guidance of firearms professionals. Live ammunition is strictly forbidden on sets. According to police, the armorer claimed she checked to ensure the rounds loaded into the revolver were blanks before handing the weapon to an assistant director, Dave Halls, who handed the gun to Baldwin, telling him it was a cold gun, or unloaded. Halls has signed a plea deal for a misdemeanor charge and is expected to cooperate with the prosecution. An FBI forensic test of the revolver found it functioned normally and would not fire without the trigger being pulled. Tuesday's formal charges come after the prosecutor announced earlier in January she would file charges against the actor. The most serious charge, which carries 5 years in jail, would require prosecutors to convince a jury Baldwin was not just negligent, but reckless in his use of a firearm.